Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching the Higgy Pop Awards that have just finished, which is why we're a little bit later this evening. I have my co-host tonight, Mr. Garry Fields.
Good evening, Karen. How's things?
Hello. You all right?
Yeah, all good. Couldn't be better. And again, well done to everyone that's been watching them awards tonight. Well done to everybody there in the paranormal world. And have you had a good weekend? Yes, fine. Just catching up with a few things, and again, just enjoying a bit of time to myself, which makes a change.
And Gary, as there are lovely friends of yours, would you like to introduce this evening's guests for a change?
Oh, yes, that'd be a pleasure. Good evening to Cara and George, and welcome to the show.
You. How are you doing? Wait, there we are. Oh my God. Woo! I'm on TV. What's going on?
Going live.
Gosh. You know what? Yes, we are live. And you know what? There's no apps here, guys. This is real skin. We're beautiful people all the way around, man. How you guys doing? God, you better keep up, baby. I am filled with energy. It's only about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All I can say is, woo, woo. That's my train, guys. That's my train.
I love it.
So hey, thanks for what can I say, man? I will start you off like this, Gary. What a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure, sir. And of course,
likewise, pleasure.
Oh man, and thanks for having us both on. This is an honor. We're in California. The time difference is not quite the same, but man, I'll tell you, it's an honor always to be invited to just talk to new friends, new people. Maybe we could touch one life today instead of trying to touch so many at one time. Man, you better tell me to shut up because I will just keep on talking.
Feel free.
Keep on talking.
As again, it'll go very, very quick. And how's things for you, Cara? Keeping busy?
Yes, we're keeping very busy. Like we were telling you before, we actually are in the middle of putting our Christmas lights up outside. So
yeah, we love Christmas.
Busy, yeah.
Yeah, we're firm believers in. It's not always about paranormal. What makes you a paranormal investigator? I'm not here to tell people what. You better tell me to be quiet. I'm not here to tell people, what about paranormal investigators, how to be a paranormal investigator. But I'll tell you, it's all about, it's all about just being happy, man. Just enjoy each day, live for, here I go. But you know what, seriously, it's being what we do together in the paranormal field. I could not do what I do and have fun at what I do without having this one right here by my side. Absolutely keeps me going every single day, inside and outside the paranormal field. I've probably quit 1,000 times. And you know what? Because you get so frustrated. But this one right here, guys, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for this young lady to my left, for sure.
Well, you have to keep them in check.
That's what it's all about. The family support. Yeah. And, do you get the death stare, George, when things aren't going right? Do you get the death stare on the investigations?
I get the death stare.
All the time.
I get hit behind the head. It's like, what are you doing?
And it's not a spirit.
Yeah, and I always think it's paranormal, but it's not. It's like my boss right here. I mean, she's the boss, man.
As long as you can debunk that, that's fine.
Well, we debunk it right away.
See, now, Gary's not my husband, but Gary gets the death stare on investigations from me. Don't you, Gary? That's why he was asking.
Oh, yeah. I get the death stare, man. I always try to come up with new things how to paranormal investigate. I'm always thinking, as being just being a human being, but being when you go to the next level, I guess, of, what are you doing tonight? Well, some of my friends are going bowling. We're going to go paranormal investigating. And, I tell you, we always try to think of something new, how to do something. We don't try to do the same thing over and over and over again, because then it gets boring. So when you start sitting around, paranormal investigating and nothing's happening, I mean, absolutely nothing's happening. We're just trying, what can we do? So, Cara came out with a new thing. We've been doing it now for months and months and months and months. We actually blindfold one of us, and we investigate blindfold. It's that's when I get hit in the back of the head. But but man, what about you guys? How is it over there at home? How is it COVID? How's the COVID over there?
We're in lockdown again.
We're in lockdown. We're coming out of it Wednesday, which is the 2nd, which has been, I think, about 4 weeks. So again, it's just about keeping focus, keeping everybody in and around the circle, keeping going. Do you know what I mean? And especially with the work Karen's done and Jolene as well, that the work that they've done there with the Unexplained and all that, and the Festival of the Unexplained. It's just been it's just snowballed this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been keeping ourselves busy. I haven't worked. I've been in isolation since March. For health reasons. So I need to keep busy. So I've been doing all sorts of stuff and planned like so much next year. It's ridiculous.
No, I get. So I think somebody's had some feedback. I think it might be you, young lady. It might be when you talk. It actually, there's a delay. So I'm hearing. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm hearing a delay of two voices. I don't know who it is.
Oh, okay.
If you have a speaker.
Okay, let's sort that out.
Karen's on to it now.
I can't hear them. Can you hear George, Gary?
No, not at the minute. Just sorting the volume out.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay, just bear with us for a moment. Having some problems. When you're commenting, they'll be back with us shortly. When you're commenting, can you give StreamYard permission to see your name, please, so we know who you are? So bear with us. George Cara will be back. They're having technical problems, so once they come back, we get them back on screen.
There was a 5 second delay on the interview when we started off as well. So hopefully we can get a nice connection going back again.
Yeah, that's right. So we're just get them sort their connection out and get them back. In the meantime, everybody, if you are in one of the groups commenting, if you can give StreamYard permission to see your name and click on that, then we can see who you are and who's commenting, and then we can ask your questions. Then we can ask your questions for you. If you have any questions for George and Cara, then please do pop them in the comments. If you will do for us, please. So Gary, anyway, so how long have you known, while we're waiting for George and Cara, how long have you known them?
Roughly, I started off with, it was about 3 or 4 years ago when I got invited up to Edinburgh. Yeah, about 4 years ago, and I came across Rick McCullum, which was the Hollywood, the ghost team over in California. And then obviously I started getting a bit more involved with looking at people in and around the USA, and then I started seeing other contacts, and then I was just adding friends onto the groups and that, and then we just started talking, and then it just developed from there, and one thing led from another. So again, we must be 6,000 miles apart, but we are like paranormal brothers. Do you know what I mean? So again, we'll send each other texts out of the blue, and we'll have contact with each other, and we'll just keep interacting, and then I might get a phone call 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and how you doing, and I forgot you're in bed, and stuff like that, and asleep, and forget the time zone. So it's quite difficult with the time zones as well, obviously over the pond, but every now and again, it seems like we G each other up through the week as well, just by sending that text and that little message, how you doing, hope everybody's fine. So again, I'd say it's about 4 years now, so we've all been through our own things in the past where we've had that support and we've had the people around us, and the paranormal world just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger with the people around us. But the communication side of it, it's very, you're virtually on the doorstep of each other, aren't you? Through the likes of your Messenger and your StreamYards and Facebook and everything else, and social media has just brought the world a hell of a lot closer.
Well, it is, because we can't see each other at the moment. You're up north, we're in the Midlands. We can't see each other at the moment, so it's good that we got this, and we can't go out investigating, obviously, but we can still actually do the lives and everything else, do interviews, and do all the do the live feeds and so on and get everybody involved that way. We hopefully George and Cara will be back with us soon.
Yeah. Also, as well, Kaz, as well, even like watching like Ghost Adventures and all that, in certain locations as a medium yourself, and you're watching a program and you get drawn to information that's coming along, and then 2 or 3 minutes even watching a program, you'll get the link with what's going on energy-wise in that location from the natural lie of the land and stuff like that. So I think when you watch certain programs as well, it draws you in, and you're like, oh, I want to be there. I want to be there. And you feel that connected with people and the energies that's there as well, So again, a lot of contact and connections are with people that's doing the like-minded things here, there, and everywhere over the UK and around the globe, Australia, and connections we've got in New Zealand as well. So again, you're watching these locations, and it's just you're just drawn into it. I want to be there. I want to go there. I suppose it's like a kid in a sweet shop, isn't it, for us?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's one of those, isn't it? It's kind of the only thing we have got at the moment is either social media. You've got Amazon Prime, you can watch stuff on Netflix, you can watch stuff on TV and everything, but that's kind of like all you've got at the moment, because really, technically, we shouldn't really be going out at the moment because we're still in a lockdown. We're still in a lockdown till Wednesday. And
looks like they're back up and running down there, Kaz.
Yeah, I know. I'm just waiting for them to get settled and sorted, and we'll bring them back on. Hello? Can you hear us okay now?
What?
Take two.
I got you. We can hear you. Hey, guys, that was totally our fault. The computer it said, no, we're not going to do it today, guys. So we had to switch it to my phone. You know what? It's just a normal situation. When you go live, anything can happen. So
there's the gremlins.
Yes, it's the little gremlins, you piece of craps. I don't like gremlins.
Well, as again.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for having us back on. Now we're just going off my phone. We shut down the computer. All of a sudden it said that was it.
Like our camera and our mic weren't working all the
time.
Yeah,
we couldn't hear anything. Weird. So let's start all over. Wow. Thanks for having us on.
Take two.
Take two. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's totally awesome. So, I know we were chatting about when we left that, I don't know how much we heard, but, we try things being paranormal investigators together. It's advantage being a married couple. I'll throw it out to that because, I had someone ask me a question the other day is, what makes you a paranormal investigator? What makes you who you are today? Blah, blah, blah. And what, and it has everything to do with, what the I don't know, the trust, the relationship that we have, and that we both enjoy what we do in the paranormal field. And it's not always about paranormal investigating. We may not get anything when we go paranormal investigating. It's about new relationships with people. It's about maybe it's not even about getting evidence that night. Maybe it's about having new friends in our circle. We don't get discouraged. We try to encourage, not discourage what we got going on. And that's who we are, So we enjoy what we do.
It's a nice, positive, warm welcome with everything, isn't it? The energies, the spirits, the building, the people that's hosting the events, and just meeting so many like-minded people, it just blows my mind away.
Absolutely. I mean, Kara's not going to get a word into here because I'm just going to keep on going. But look at Gary and I. Gary, we've been friends on Facebook. We've never met. We've never shared a beer together, a football game. But you know what? Even if we don't talk for days or weeks, we know that we have this love relationship for brothers, for each other. You know, it's just one of those things that, you know, it's just one of those things that in life, you know, it's not always about that you have to handshake with somebody or whatever to gain that relationship. I enjoy Facebook with some I don't like so much. Some people are very mean to me, but you know, it's with now Karen's in my circle and Gary's been in my circle and I've been in his circle for who knows how long. So it's been beautiful, man. It's been a lot of fun. So just tell me to shut up, man. Just tell me.
Appreciate it. I'll ask some questions and then I'll let Karen come in then as well. On some of your locations that you've been together, we'll keep it a togetherness thing. Have you ever noticed what's the presence of the atmosphere changing? Do you feel what's the most like daunting place that you've noticed the atmosphere changing on an investigation?
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk. I want you to talk.
I would probably say the one place that stands out of my mind is the Amador County Courthouse and Jail.
Yeah.
We've been there about 7 times investigating, and 5 out of those 7 times George has been attacked in the same jail cell. And you could definitely feel the energy change. Like one time we were there and every single person we were with had that feeling like you were walking through spider webs the whole time we were there.
Yeah.
And that was one of the nights that he was attacked. But yeah, it just, that place, the energy there is, you can definitely feel a difference once you walk inside.
You know, and she's right. And that location, you know, each time we do so-called, I don't call this an interview. I call this 4 people just chopping it up, having a good time, talk about life, talk about in general. I don't like it to always be like, you know, because I want to ask you guys questions too by the end of this, you know. But it's you know, my thing with what she just said, you know, I can go into any location and this is what you're going to get. This guy is just so much energy, blah, blah, blah. And I just love being happy and whatever it may be. But she's right. With this location, it changes you. You go from Mr. Happy to like Mr. Serious. You just get into this mode like,
or Mr. Angry.
You know, and I'm not saying that, look, I have emotions just like everybody else. I get mad, I get angry, I have good days, I have bad days. But this location alone is it has one of those, as soon as you cross that so-called threshold, it changes you. You're just like, you're not like all happy. You're like, oh my God, you just get very serious. And it's kind of hard to describe. But, you know, it's just, like you said, Amador Courthouse and Jail. We've been there quite a few times. And I've have it on my Facebook. I have it on everything. We were filming. And don't get me wrong. When I say filming, it's not like, oh, we're filming.
Video camera.
We have a video camera. That's what I mean by it. So don't take it so it's so big that it's not. But, you know, you're being watched the whole time. And, you know, you go into it. And next thing you know, there's nothing touching I'm not, you know, and next thing you know, you're scratched or, you know, it is a jail cell. I do have tattoos. I do believe because of this location that because I'm in there and I have a few tattoos, I don't know if it's that or just basically being in this jail cell that maybe I look like somebody that was there one time 100 years ago. I don't know.
Well, and the thing is he's the only one that we know of that's been attacked. And it's there's more than one jail cell in the jail, and it's always the same jail cell that he gets attacked in.
Yeah.
He's had multiple scratches. I mean, so bad where they start bleeding. He's had an attachment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's always in the very same jail cell.
Same chair, same
but
corner.
Nobody else that's gone.
It's not number 35, is it? I'm just getting the number 35 and 13.
I don't know. There's no numbers on them, so I don't know. But it's very.
You make me think though, because you know what? When it comes to numbers, we don't know, but I'm going to keep that number in mind because I like to do so. Again, all about paranormal investigating for all of us. It's all about research. And if I can find out the research on that, if you're saying 35, which I'm going to write down myself.
And 13 came to me, but it could be a multiple of them numbers as well, couldn't it? It could be add them together or anything like that as well. But
no, again, as you know, Gary, you are definitely gifted, and you know what? That's something that I'm going to look into, because maybe it could be anything. There's only so many jail cells there. It's not like this one location only has about maybe 12 or 15 jail cells.
Not even that.
Not even that.
Not even.
And it's just a very scary place. It's very scary. You feel like you're being watched the whole time. You just feel
because you are.
Because you are, exactly. Whatever.
I know Karen's there, and I'm just eager to keep going. Have you ever had a lovely, mischievous spirit energy playing games, or in and around you on locations, or even at your own home?
You want to start it? Go for
it. I think mostly in our home, in our old house. Do you remember when he used to get his arm tugged while we were in bed, and we found out it was actually a wife from his past life there.
A wife?
Pissed.
The key word, hold on. The key word is from a past life. I've been married now 33 years. Oh, 29 years.
Yeah,
29
we've been
years.
together
Sorry.
for 33.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Don't get the numbers wrong.
Don't want to get in trouble at home, man. I'm way too close to her arm.
But, yeah, we've had that. We've had, things being like our oldest daughter, when we first started having activity in our house, this was in a house that we used to live in. We had some spirits there that they were children, and they would hide her glasses, or they would, she would find pieces to a game in different spots in her room when she hasn't been playing that game for a while. So we've had that. We did have one really weird incident. And I'm convinced it's paranormal because I don't know how else to explain it, but he lost his wedding ring, and we searched everywhere for it. We searched the couch cushions, like every place you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
And then we moved, and we got rid of like the couches and got new couches and everything. And a couple years after we moved, I came out of our bedroom, and his wedding ring that he had lost was sitting right in the middle of our hallway floor.
That's some weird stuff. I mean, that's just I mean, that's the whole thing about, again, the whole thing. I do believe that paranormal is always been around and always will be around. I think because we're all of us are paranormal investigators, we seem to really take the time to do a little bit more research and accept that, you know what, it wasn't. I don't drop it out of my pocket. It
was lost for about 3 years.
I could for 3, exactly 3 years. I lost my wedding ring, and then in the middle of the hallway floor. There's no explaining it. There's absolutely no explaining it. Is everything paranormal? Absolutely not. But was that paranormal? Don't know. It's just that's what's so cool about it. It's the unknown, and it's the unknown, and that's what makes us being. All of us, actually, we're all equal. That's what keeps us in the paranormal, because I love the unknown. I don't want answers. I'd rather go to an investigation, someone's house or whatever. I don't want all the answers, because then if we get all the answers, then it wouldn't be so mysterious. It wouldn't be so, it's just so like, I want more. What's cool about this being who we are, and everybody here, yourselves too, this has nothing to do with Scooby-Doo cartoons, because they always found the ghost by the end of the cartoon within 22 minutes. We don't get a lot of answers for weeks or months or even years later down the line, or ever. So
and it can tie in over a time span as well, can't it? As you say, 2 years, and then that ring just appears, or stuff like that. It's just, you can't explain that, can you, Karen?
No, you can't. No, it's just mad, the fact that it just reappeared. We got some comments and some questions coming in from the audience, so I'd like to ask those, Gary, before we lose anybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we ask all our questions and we forget about them, we forget to ask them.
Yeah.
We've got. Oh, I've gone back too far. I do apologise. Bear with me just a second. It was Cindy Yes, Cindy. She was asking, what is the first piece of equipment you'd recommend for someone first starting out?
Can I take this one?
Yes.
All right. Honestly, all right. The first piece of equipment that you should do actually is your gut. Don't spend any money. Don't give anybody any money for bells and whistles. And you know, and I'm gonna probably answer this within about a minute or two, and I do apologize. When we first started, you know, our favorite show was Ghost Adventures. We watched everything underneath the sun when it came to ghost paranormal investigations. We fell in the trap of spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on stuff that now is sitting in a closet we don't use anymore. My thing now, after being in paranormal for I feel a long time, but you know, is go with your gut. Your gut is one of those situations. If you go to an investigation, if you feel something, do not discard it. Go ahead and go with it. We've noticed that, you know, when it comes to bells and whistles and, you know, funny lights and all this other stuff, from REM pods to whatever, you know, those are fun, but those are also, it could be something else. When you have those situations that goes off, oh my gosh, it was paranormal. Was it? Was it really? Are we sure about that? Are we positive? The best type of evidence you can give yourself and make yourself feel validated is your gut. We're all born with abilities. I feel that when we're born, we're all born with abilities. And you know what? The one thing that, you know, you can't argue with is, I assure you that Cara or myself or anybody else, you've had relationships, or you stole a candy bar from a grocery store or something like that, and you got caught. And you knew deep down inside in your gut that relationship was not going to work. And you knew deep down inside your gut was telling you, don't steal the candy bar, you're going to get caught. And the relationship didn't work out. And also the candy bar, you got caught. And, you know, it's one of those situations. Don't do it, Kara. It's one of those situations where, you know, you gotta believe in yourself. So, you know, if you don't mind, one more thing I'll put, if you are a paranormal investigator, you want to try it out, is find a team that you can actually hook up with, maybe get to know these people, borrow, if not use some of their equipment, and maybe see what works for you before you spend any money. That's
most definitely.
Can I add my
add your input?
Yeah.
So for a physical piece of equipment, I would actually just recommend your cell phone, because it has the camera, it has a video camera, and it has a recorder. So you can do EVPs and you can take pictures and videos with just your cell phone,
right?
Without having to spend any extra money.
Absolutely. Or, you know, again, it's, you know, I can keep on going when it comes to paranormal, man. If you feel like you need to buy something, if you really want to buy something and feel like that you're a paranormal investigator, you know, buy yourself a little handheld recorder for $30. You can't argue with an EVP. You can't argue if you didn't say that, you know, you didn't cheat yourself out of, you know, you're investigating for 8 hours and you got nothing, and you feel like you have to cheat yourself by whispering into it. That's ridiculous. You know, that's one thing I don't like is, you know, is that, because, you know, carry your handheld recorder, keep it on the palm of your hand or place it on the ground. Don't touch it with your thumb. Is just ask questions. And if you hear something in the background that, you know, you didn't do it, or anybody else, that is so great evidence when you get an EVP. And
well, then also, if maybe if you're taking a video of your EVP session, and in the video you don't hear that anyone say that, and then you have it on your EVP recorder, I mean, it's,
man, you can tell me how to make peanut butter cookies and I'll drag it on for 30 minutes how to make peanut. I mean, I just he doesn't
know how to make.
I don't know how to shut up. You know what? That's one thing about being a paranormal investigator, just being a really good human being. I want to help people as much as I can. And when I'm only given like 60 minutes or whatever it may be to help somebody, and we talked about this, I may help one person today, and that's all that matters. You know, and it's not about 100 people, it's about that one person. And walk away that I felt that I helped somebody today on your journey, if I may.
You certainly have for that question. Thanks for that. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, that's all right. We've got another one from the audience as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to try and get the audience ones in, then Gary, you can carry on with yours. And we've got another one. I think that was also from the same lady, asking, has anything ever followed you home?
Cara did. I met Cara at a bar. No. Oh, you're talking about paranormal investigating? I'll answer very short. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
we've never had anything negative follow us home. Well, maybe with me, but one time we were coming home from an investigation, and we were in the car, and we had the radio turned off, and then all of a sudden it just turned on by itself.
Yeah.
And we definitely had someone with us that time. Yeah, another time we were at this place called Virginia City, Nevada. The whole town is haunted. And we just went up there, and we weren't even investigating. And we had lunch at this restaurant, and it was like the weirdest experience because the waitress wouldn't look at me. She was like looking at something over my shoulder the whole entire time. She would look at George and talk to him, but she wouldn't even look at me when she talked to me. And when she came and brought our food, she literally like threw my food down in front of me. It was the weirdest.
It was a weird thing.
Weirdest thing.
It was,
and we went home, and when we got home, I was not myself. I was angry, and definitely not myself for a couple of days. So I'm pretty sure I had some kind of attachment. Like she must have been seeing something over my shoulder. It was like, so it was so weird. And I thought she was so rude.
I'm sorry. You know what? I just saw somebody wrote. There it is right there. I wish Zach Bagans would follow me home. You know what? I love honesty. Zach Bagans. Okay, so on a different note, Zach is a great guy, man.
I had to put that on the screen. I spotted that. I thought I'm gonna have to put that up.
No, man. I you know what? Yeah, we got to work with Zach. We both did on a we, as everybody seems to understand and know by now, that we've done a few things with them, I guess, and we had a great time. But I'll tell you, Zach Vagan is a professional. A lot of people they don't give him enough credit. I mean, they give him credit, but they think that he's this or that or bad or this or negative. But you know what? For somebody that's probably worth millions and millions and millions of dollars and a producer, he's very great at what he does. He's great at what he does. And that's why he's been around for so many years. Him, Aaron, Billy, Jay, and Dakota. They've been around forever.
Is it true he's just bought Dracula's castle?
What's that?
Is it true he's bought Dracula's castle?
I heard. I've heard he buys everything. If I could get a hold of him right now, I'm going to tell him that my boxer shorts in my drawer, those things are haunted, man. And see how much money I can get from him. But no, Zach is a great guy. Like I said, we got to, he's a great guy. We got to work with him for about a week, and he's a great guy. He really is. He's good stuff. And if he can follow you home, Elizabeth, man, I'll tell you what. That's that would be awesome for you.
Sounds cool. I'm going to jump back with the EVPs. Have any of your names ever been said on an EVP when you've listened back to it?
I think, you know what? I think so. I think we've had Kara.
A lot of times mine. We had one. It was, so the house that we live in right now, we have some resident spirits here. And so when we first moved here, we would do a lot of EVP sessions. And one time we were just sitting in our bedroom doing an EVP session, and George is asking, do you know my wife's name? Do you know my name? And he's just asking, and you hear a man's voice say, Cara, over George talking.
Yeah.
I've also, I've actually heard my voice and or my name be called out. I heard it with my ears. One time we were, George was working nights, and this was even before we got into the paranormal. So it really freaked me out because I was home by myself and George was working, and I was just about to fall asleep, and I hear Cara whispered in my ear.
Yeah.
And it scared the crap out of me because we weren't into the paranormal then. So, and I was home by myself and I didn't know what to do. I just hid under my covers. And I've had, one time we were at a cemetery, the very first investigation we did, and we got an EVP of a spirit saying my name. So we get my name a lot.
We do. It's just, again, but it's one of those things that you can't put, sometimes you can't, unless, and if you're investigating, as everybody knows, man, you just got to be careful on sharing sharing evidence, because you're going to get one or two people saying, oh, wow, that's great. And you're going to get like another one or two people saying, oh, bull pucky, that was your voice. You got to be careful. So we've got a lot of evidence. I mean, we really have. And when it comes to evidence, I know I'm dragging this part on, but I do believe why we get so much evidence is because of what we bring to a paranormal investigation. We are not mean people. We are always, if not 90% of the time, in a really great mood. We understand life. We understand what it means to be thankful to have life. We get it. And I do believe when people's, if you're in a shitty mood, I'm sorry, I'm saying shitty. Go ahead and find me $50.
That's fine. That's right. You carry on. We've had work this week, I can tell you.
No, if you're having a really crappy attitude and you're supposed to go investigating that night, we've been there. We're like, no, we're not going to investigate tonight. We've had a crappy day at work, and we're not going to do it. And it's not the best idea. So,
well, because we believe what you put out is what you're going to attract. So if you go to investigation and you're putting out negative energy, that's what you're going to attract. If you're putting out positive energy, that's what you're going to attract. And that's why I believe that we haven't had a lot of, run-ins with a negative entity, because we, that's not what we put out into the atmosphere.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And we've talked about this a lot.
I think, you're totally wrong. I don't know what you're thinking, man. I'm just joking.
Like the Tyson fight last night, that.
I didn't watch that. Did he win or lose? I didn't watch it.
I think it was a draw.
Oh, was it
a draw?
Call it a draw.
God,
no, it was a draw. I think it was a draw.
Wow.
Oh.
I wouldn't want to get in a ring with I would not want to get in a ring with anybody like that. But you would think, they did it for the money. I would assume they did it for the money.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Going back to where you mentioned, Cara, the cemeteries and that, I have actually written down graveyards for one of my questions.
Oh, wow.
Have you got any local graveyards there back close to you that you've been round, or just for a walk?
Yes.
Or investigating?
We don't really, I guess we have.
We do. I'll tell you, we go to, because we do.
We don't really investigate, but we do take our EVP recorder and talk to the spirits. We actually had one really cool experience in where we used to live. We went to this cemetery, and we've actually gotten a lot of EVPs from there. But one time we actually had spirits leading us to a certain headstone. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
So he would get hints, like, because he was trying, and he would, he got a name, Bravo. Or at first he was like, okay, are you saying Bravo? Like, yay, good job. And so then we looked around and we saw a headstone with the last name Bravo. So then we went over there, and then he got another clue, I guess you would say. And we looked around and we found a headstone with that name. And it led us to a headstone of a whole entire family that had been killed, I think, in a train wreck.
I don't remember that, but yeah.
But so that was pretty cool.
Now you have to remember, I don't like wearing glasses, but I'm about as blind as a bat. And if you can understand, these, cemeteries are, we love cemeteries, but during that situation that she's talking about, I do remember now, but the names that you may get, that's why you got to go through, you got to listen to your gut. And if you get the name Smith, or whatever it may be, how that worked out that day was really weird, because these tombstones were like 20, 30 feet, 40 feet away from each other. And it was just one of those situations where, again, it tripped her out, but it also tripped me out, because I was just like, what the hell's going on here, man? And but now with cemeteries, we try to stay away from cemeteries now. We've come to this. We love cemeteries. We love them. We think they're beautiful. So don't take me wrong. But we've gone to the part where I've learned from myself, where it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's a place of rest. And I hate to go there and investigate if they're trying to rest. And but we've gotten some great orbs. We've gotten some. We go to cemeteries. We haven't been in a while, but we go there to just ground ourselves. As I always tell people, if you're starting to take life for granted, and we've done it too, we've all done it. Best way to put yourself back in check is go to a cemetery. And you know what? That'll get you back to where you're supposed to be, and stop taking your days on this planet for granted. because that is your last stop as far as we know. We don't know, but it puts you back in check, you know, and say, okay, let's go back home and have a Pop-Tart, you know. So
Well,
at that same cemetery, we had gone on this like a walking tour of the downtown area, and it kind of tells you what all the buildings used to be. And there's this one building that used to be a brewery, and the story was that the owner died. He drowned in a vat of beer at the brewery. And so it just so happened that he was buried at the cemetery that we were at, and we found his headstone. And so we went over there and we were just asking questions, and we said, "Oh, would you like to have a beer with us?" And you hear a man say yes.
yeah.
Way to go, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, again, you know, that's one of those situations. I do remember that. And it's all about, you know, in the beginning time, we put everything on our Facebook. We put all our evidence on the Facebook. We put everything. And you know what? We learned that you just cannot. It's more so like a double-edged sword. You know, you think you're doing something good, and you're like, oh my God, hey. And next thing you know, you get in trouble with people.
Well, yeah, because we get a lot of Class A EVPs, and I just believe it's because of the energy we put out, and we're like a beacon of light to these spirits.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I mean, we get a lot, and I can't explain why. And when we first started, we would just put everything on like our Facebook or Instagram. Like,
or you know what? To be honest, we thought this was too easy.
You know,
we're like, oh my God, this is way too easy. You know, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you know? It's like we would get stuff like I'm interrupting her, but we would get stuff like, oh my God, why is this so hard to do? I don't get. We're getting like recipes from ghosts. We're like, no, but I mean that's kind of. I'm just joking around.
Right.
But no, but you know, we've learned as we've gotten a little bit more understanding that, you know, it's not about showing people what you got. It's about maybe showing people how to get.
Right.
And you know what? And what I mean by that is getting it is just be you. You know,
right.
Just go investigate, be you. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. You know, just do your stuff.
And where I was going with that is, you know, we got accused of
going, but you kept on going.
We got accused of
talking,
you know, faking the EVPs because we kept getting such good ones.
Yeah.
So now, you know, we're kind of like, okay, we're not really gonna, put.
That's what I find is when you're there, you know, virtually if you've not heard it on the EVP directly and you've not played it back there, and you've played it back at a later time, you know the people that's in and around that location and room to verify that as well.
Yeah.
Well, we even got one of a cat purring.
Oh yeah.
So this was recently. So
I've just written that down. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, did you really? Oh my God.
So,
wait, hold on. Doesn't that blow you away?
Sorry.
No.
So
wow.
This was actually recent. We
I'm blown away.
Investigated a hotel that was shut down because of COVID. So we had the whole hotel to ourselves. And so before we go on an investigation, we kind of like to, use our abilities and see if we can connect before we go. And George kept getting a cat, that the spirit there had a cat, and no one has ever mentioned a cat before. So we were like, okay, so we went there, and we were in the room that the spirit supposedly had killed herself.
Now this is really weird.
Yeah, look at she never does this. She never does this.
Sorry.
So, so we were asking about her cat. And when we listened back on the EVP, we actually got a cat purring.
Right.
And we knew exactly what it was, because the cat you just saw, when we would do EVPs in our room, she would be up on our bed purring, and we would hear her purring in the EVP recording. So we knew exactly what it was. And I was like, oh my God, that is so crazy.
You know, it's really crazy what Gary noticed. I mean, we could talk all day, but Gary wrote down.
I know.
I'm like, okay, Gary.
And he also graveyard.
I know. That's wicked. That's some wicked stuff.
That's what he's like. That's what I mean, you see. Yeah, he got all these questions. He gets these things come in. He writes it down. And I'm like, can I ask a question now, Gary?
Sorry, Karen.
I'm only joking.
Yeah.
I have got some that I wrote down from like half an hour ago. So these are from, I don't even know if they're still watching. We got one of the public asked, what does it mean when you feel a cold energy?
To me,
it means something different for everyone.
Right. Cold energy to me is just basically, gosh, when you get a cold, I just feel it's just something that, okay, when it comes to paranormal, everything's my opinion, does not mean it's right or wrong. Okay. Yeah. I just feel when it's a cold energy, it could be a spirit that is maybe new, that just maybe passed away recently, not so long ago, like not 100 years ago, but maybe 10 years ago. I don't think coldness, I mean, it's hard to describe, but people get like, oh, my hair, my arms are standing up. Can it mean
you're cold?
Yeah, I mean,
the temperature's changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say. It could be you're running into a portal. It's one of those situations. It's just like it's hard to explain. What about it?
Well, I mean, it's the unknown. No one knows the true answer.
And that I started because it is the unknown. I don't know.
But I mean, it could be hot or cold. It it just I don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's just it's a good feeling though.
It's a hard question to answer because you say about hot and cold. When I'm doing readings, I'm always normally I'm cold all the time. I'm always moaning I'm cold. It doesn't matter if the heating's on, I've got a blanket on. Gary would tell you this because he stays with us like when we're not in lockdown, he stays with us like quite often.
Yeah.
And I'm always moaning about being cold. But when I work mediumship wise or anything along those kind of lines, energy work, whatever I'm doing, if I do any of that, I'm a hot worker. I'm completely the opposite.
Wow. That's so, I mean, that's
like I said, the hot and cold, you just don't know.
It is, I mean, that's when people ask questions, like if I ask you questions, sometimes it's nice not to have an answer to your question. Mm-hmm. I'd rather not have the answer because I'd love to have the answer, but at the same time I don't, because then my research is done. I don't want the answers. I mean, we, as all of us, we're adults and we go paranormal investigating and, we want to research, but I don't want the answers. Not yet. I don't want them because then we'll end up just stop paranormal investigating. I think, I don't know. And
we don't want to do that.
No.
We got another question from one of the audience. Spirit box, SP7 or app on a phone. What do you that's 3 questions in one. What do you think of them?
I mean, the only one we kind of use is the SP7. Mm-hmm. And we really don't like it either because it's just, the things you hear are open to interpretation. Like people will say, oh, this is what it said. And I'd be like, no, didn't say that.
Yeah.
So I just, unless and apps, we don't use apps at all. I know a lot of people love apps and there's nothing wrong with that, but we don't. I just feel, I don't understand how they work. I just like, like when you search something on your phone and then all of a sudden that starts popping up like on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like apps are the same thing. Like you're talking about something and then those words are put in there. I don't know how they work. I would rather use our own abilities and an EVP recorder. And then spirit boxes, we don't use those. It's just so hard for me to understand. And like the SP7, I hate that sound. It just annoys me.
It drives me crazy after.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm fine with it for about 5 minutes, and then it's just like I always have it on sweep reversing as well on the reverse sweep. I always find, but after that 5 minutes, it's like move on.
I one of the best paranormal investigators out there has been around since before we were probably born, guys, was Scooby-Doo, and they never used any of that stuff, and they got spirits all the time.
Everywhere they went, they got one. They never disappointed.
The spirits were actually people.
No, they're not. They're real.
Costumes.
No, sorry.
No. Don't ruin it now.
Don't ruin. I still
that was my favorite cartoon.
I've got another question for you. I can put this one up because it's got a name on it. The other ones didn't have a name on them. From Jessica. So she wants to know. I can't even pronounce that.
Oh, Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. No.
What Cara said.
No, we live in California, so we've been to California, Nevada,
New
and
Mexico.
New Mexico. That's about as far as we've gotten.
Yeah.
So that answers the next question. If you've been to the Stanley Hotel in Colorado.
No, but I've heard some great things. I can't say names because they might get mad, but I've heard some great things about the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. I've heard that's a great location. I hate to blame and point the finger at the virus guys, but we had a lot. I mean, honestly, we were going to be so busy in 2020. We had so many places to go. We had it all lined up, and it all just took and you know what? That's just an honest answer. It's just terrible. Yeah. But we have a lot of stuff. I don't want to say a lot. We have a good 2021 coming up. We're hoping hopefully, yeah, with this virus.
I'm not going to ask you about that.
What?
Yeah, I made Gary go and buy a diary because I had so many dates already booked for next year. I said, Gary, if you got a 21 diary, he said, no. I said, you need to buy one because I have a list of events that I need to tell you about.
Right.
He went, what for this year? No, that's Gary said next year. So I need a 2021 diary. I said, yes, please. I said, because I've got so many events to tell you, you need to put them in your diary now. So a few days later, I got a message. I've bought a diary. It's come in the post. Right. What do you want me to write down?
Oh, God. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't so darn expensive, I would love to go exactly where you guys live. I mean, it seems to me there's history everywhere. Paranormal investigating there's a part of it of history, and there's so much
more of it there.
You guys have everything there. If you want to trade spots if we could somehow get in a time machine and there's a movie out there like Back to the Future, we can fix a car up. We'll go through some lighting and I would like to switch with you guys because I find where you live to be so fascinating from whatever to whatever. I wish that it wasn't so expensive to get there, if I may. But no, you guys, if you don't know already, you guys are very blessed to be where you're at, and we're blessed to be where we're at. But we just love where you're.
We're the same though. When we did the 41-hour Festival of the Unexplained last month,
right?
We had a lot of people. We had people from New Zealand, America, and every conversation went to. We want to come there. You want to come here, and this is how it went. All weekend, there was everybody was we all want to come over there, but all of you guys all want to come over here too.
Yeah.
So we've had many a conversation since, and I've stayed in contact with everyone.
No, it's smart, man. I mean, we're here in the United States. From let's say the middle part over going east. I think, it's more so the Civil War, and a lot of the wars happened back over there, and then you have us over here. It's kind of like the gold rush, cowboys. What did you write down?
Military.
What that? Gary, stop it. Gary. Okay, seriously. You need to control yourself, G Money. That's weird. Why would
I'll take you off in a minute if he carries on. I'm joking.
Oh my God. Well, the fact that we just talked about military and we're talking, then all of a sudden it's written down by him already. It just makes you wonder, Gary, you're amazing. You're just amazing, man. But we have over here, we have the gold rush, blah, 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 back in the 1800s and stuff. And over there was the Civil War, and we're jealous of just being over there. We want to go there and check out a few locations for sure.
But then they want to come over here.
But they want to come over here. Yeah.
Damn it, it's all on the list. I have a list. The list is endless. It's becoming endless. It's getting longer and longer.
Yeah, no, we haven't been to the Waverly. That's in Kentucky. The Waverly Hills.
Another place I would like to do.
Wow. I gotta get there.
We've had 3 chances to go there, and every single one fell through. So I guess we're not meant to go there yet.
No, it's terrible.
No way.
We'll get there. Again, in the last year, as we've already discussed, the virus has taken over. I mean, we can't go anywhere really, and now there's a curfew at 10 p.m. I mean, that's good for me.
Also, starting tomorrow.
Yes.
If if you come, because we just had our Thanksgiving holiday and a lot of people went away, and we just heard on the news last night that starting tomorrow here in California, if you are coming home from wherever you went, you have to quarantine for 14 days.
14 days, man.
If you're not home by today.
Yeah, you can tell me right now.
If you're not home by today, I'll blind you.
Yeah, it starts on Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
Chris and Hal, I watched the program last night, and the boy had a wee on the grave.
And he was possessed by the demon.
And he was possessed by a demon. Is this possible? So basically, is possession possible? Shall we narrow that question down?
It is possible, but the thing with demons is, they are, in my opinion, they're rare. Mostly it's a negative spirit or an angry spirit. Everyone likes to label everything, a demon nowadays. Because of TV and the movies and things like that, when in reality, I mean, yes, they are out there, and yes, it is possible to be possessed by a demon, but it's also possible to have an attachment by a negative entity. I mean, I just look at it like, as a living person, if you're trying to get someone's attention and they're ignoring you, what are you going to do? You're going to get angry. You're going to push them. You're going to throw something. You're going to do something to try to get their attention. Or if you're an angry person while you were alive, you're still going to be angry when you die. Mm-hmm. So it's not, I think most people just think that they're automatically demons when really they're not.
That's the thing though, Cara, isn't it? Like, we were talking about this the other night, actually. The thing is, whatever you're like in life, you're going to be like in death. You don't automatically, suddenly your attitude changes and your personality changes just because you've gone from the physical body to a spiritual body. You're still the same person.
Yeah.
Regardless of which body you're in my opinion. And that's just the way it is. So like you said, if you were like that here, you're going to be like that there or wherever there may be.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great thing. You're absolutely right. And I love how you put it. It's how you put it and then ending it with, that's your opinion. I think your opinion could be totally right. I mean, it's, I'm more afraid. No, not afraid. I'm more concerned about the living than I am with the spirits. When it comes to the living, I don't want to see something come at me like a human being, because I think humans are more crazy than I think the spirit world. Again, my opinion. I'd rather face something I can't see than face something I can see. I think that we're so jacked up. I think as the living on this side of the veil, again, opinion. I do believe that I'm more afraid of the living, man. I'm not afraid of I'm not afraid of the other side of the veil. I'm just not. I get scared. I scream like a girl, but it is what it is, man. I get startled.
Is that what you like?
But you still do it. So you do it because it's your passion and you still do it. We've got a few more questions. I know we're like running out of time already. This is crazy. I know Gary's got loads more questions. But we've got another question for you. Pauline said, what's the worst paranormal investigation you've had?
God, you know what? Can I answer that one?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. She's probably going to disagree with me. The worst paranormal investigator, I'll be honest with you, probably never. And the reason I'm saying that is something I said in the beginning is, we go out to investigate. We're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get evidence. And we get absolutely zero. But you met new people. You met new friends. You created new relationships. Sometimes it's not about going paranormal investigating to get evidence. It's something much stronger and much deeper than that. It could be something like, well, I met a great guy named Gary tonight, man. Great guy. We're gonna, it's about what you get out of it. It's not always paranormal.
Yeah, but you get out what you put in, don't you, as well? If you go in with a wrong attitude, you're gonna.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a bad paranormal investigation. Now, I've been to paranormal in the beginning of my so-called journey of paranormal. I probably would have answered this a lot different so many years ago, but I'd be like, oh my God, that guy was a total jerk and and I didn't get anything, no paranormal investigating. What a waste of time. Now it's the opposite. Now it's not a waste of time. It's always something that I get out of it from watching Gary or yourself, Karen, investigate. I'll take something home and learn something as like, oh God, did you see how Karen did it? I'm going to try that in my next investigation. You know, you got to realize that, you know, I talk a lot. You got to realize that, you know what? We're always students. We're always students in paranormal or in a daily life. You always got to be a student, and that'll put that so-called ego, if you get an ego, it's going to put it down 6 feet under. Just enjoy your days and enjoy whatever the day you take out of it, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Well, and even maybe you're on an investigation that's not going so well. You're also going to learn something from that. You're going to, you know, with the people you're investigating, maybe you're going to learn something not to do.
Exactly.
So we take away something from every person we investigate.
You know what I've learned not to do is eat Taco Bell or burritos before you investigate. You think you hear whispering, but it's somebody passing gas. You think it's
a demon on your EVP recorder.
Hey, I've had that.
Donuts with hundreds of thousands on as well.
I watched an interview. I wasn't part of it, but I watched an interview the other night. Jolene, one of our friends and colleagues, she did an interview the other night. She was actually being interviewed, and they were talking about you bringing up Taco Bells. They're bringing up what food you have before you go on an event, and the people that we were interviewing were saying Taco Bells. Yeah, definitely don't go and have one of those before you go on an investigation.
No, it's
no Mexican food.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about the other night.
Don't do you. I mean, we went into investigation. We if I'm nothing's really quick with me. We were doing a town a few weeks back during Halloween. And we were investigating this haunted hotel, and I was doing an EVP, and all of a sudden I heard this sound. I'm like, oh my God, what was that? There was a guy about 10 feet away. It was his stomach. His stomach was growling. And I'm like, holy shit. Oh, sorry. I thought it was like, you know, a demon or something negative, but it was actually his stomach. And he goes, oh man, that was my bad. I'm like, oh dude, that was crazy.
At least he owned up to it. It's when they don't own up to it.
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. But no, that's fun, man. It's when it comes to different stuff, you know, from, you know, whatever. I like when something like that happens. Like, not to be rude, but you know, you're investigating and somebody passes gas. It's funny. It'll stir it up a little bit. I know it sounds really rude, but you know what? You got to have fun and you got to laugh. You can't be all serious when you investigate. You got to have fun.
Well, because I mean, just like a living person, who are you going to want to, you know, interact with? Someone who's having fun or someone who is grumpy and being a jerk and
that's right,
provoking you?
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, we even like to, you know, one time, you remember this, when we were at Cohen Bray House and we were playing a game.
Oh yeah.
So we were at an investigation. We were playing a board game, and we were discussing who was going to be red. And I said, I'm going to be red. Well, on the EVP, we listened back to the EVP recording, and right after I said, I'm going to be red, you hear a man say, no, I'm red.
And it was really cool because we're with a group of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just Karen and I, but we were with, it was great. So none of us said it. It was really cool. Yeah. We're like, what the hell just happened? But no, doesn't that make you think, guys, Karen and Gary, seriously, when you get and I'm asking you guys a question, is, you know, you go to investigate, you get an EVP, you get this, you know that you didn't do it, you know that nobody else did it. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden it just makes me think, what about you guys, that like, oh my God, there's actually really something that was next to me. There was actually something there, you know?
Yeah. And and for us, like when we're working as well, Gary and I, because we work together, like we all work together as a group a lot. And so for me personally, it's validation sometimes too.
Yeah.
Because you just said something.
Yeah.
And then you'll catch an EVP, and like you said, you don't listen to it till the following day or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like they were part of the conversation,
right?
That we were having.
And you know, I know Gary's blown us away for the last hour, where he's like, this is how gifted Gary is. I mean, that's where, if people don't know Gary, we should be interviewing Gary Fields, because for what he's been doing.
No, we don't. He's on here.
It's teamwork, George. I can't take the credit tonight. Teamwork.
Oh man.
I'm joking. No, seriously. Yeah, we do. Well, actually, Gary comes on and does readings for an hour. Well, we do readings together for an hour, don't we? Every so often, and have a good old chin wag first, and then do readings, and then an hour turns into 2 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, that's amazing because that's one of the things we'll take away today. You know, many things actually, but you know, honestly, we'll probably like, man, Gary blew me away. How blah 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 blah. It's like
He knows what we're thinking.
he knows exactly what I'm thinking right now. That sucks.
As you're there now, I've written a question down roughly about thinking and not partnerships or anything. Where have we gone? Let me see. Right. There was a lady where you're talking about thinking. I'm seeing dreams and stuff like that. Do you wake up and have like a similar dream or any visions? There was a lady that she even told me the day that she was going to die that I've come across, and she told me, and lo and behold, she passed. But linking in with dreams, she had that in a dream. Do you get the same gut feeling around one morning when you both get up as well, that type of scenario, or anything unfold around that sequence with dreams?
Yes, I know that. I mean, I'm not trying to compare myself with you, Gary, at all. But you know, what blows me away, if I could say this, is when, like, I'll think about my daughter, and like my daughter, I'm really connected with my daughter, Caitlin, and I'll think about like, oh my gosh, you know, I think she's gonna call us. I think there's something going on. I think something's going wrong. Something's wrong. And literally, maybe a couple of months ago, I'll get this phone call. We got a call from our daughter, and it's like something was really wrong. That I don't know if to answer your question, but on a daily for me, no. But I don't have a lot of confidence in myself when it comes to trying to read people. I'm always afraid of being wrong, and I don't. What you have is what I like to have, is confidence on just speaking my mind. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And, you know, it's, you know, I do believe that we're, you know, there's the connection of, you know, with the spiritual world I think we all have abilities. I just think what you have an advantage of, Gary, is that you have confidence in yourself. And that's what's so cool. You know, you're not afraid to say what you see.
There's no right way, no wrong way with mediumship, George. It just comes in and goes out. So what you're given at that present moment in time is the energy that's around you, or your team's connecting with you and giving you that instinct as well. Like the other night, the guide said something to me, and I just looked and I turned around and I was like, wow, that's a massive statement. It was only a little word, or a sentence, and I was just like, that just blew my mind away. And then it tied up and came around as well. Another one there, a little one there for Cara. I see some of the stuff that you've got with the business and the charms and all that stuff.
Gary, no, I'm leading on to that. Don't start. Yeah, carry on. Yes, Cara. So you've got your Facebook page, haven't you? I've been checking that out, and you make some really lovely things. Now, please tell us all about it.
That's awesome, Gary.
Well, I wanted to add something to Gary's question about the dreams. It wasn't so much a dream, but I think this is what you were talking about. So we had actually booked a trip to go back east to do an investigation.
Oh, yeah.
And right after I booked our airline tickets, that night when I went to bed, I just had like this sinking gut feeling that something wasn't right. And the next morning when we got up, George told me the same thing. And I was like, okay, something's telling us like not to go.
Yeah.
So we canceled the trip. And on the day that we were supposed to be gone is when something bad happened with our daughter. And we actually had to go get her.
Yeah. We had to go rescue her.
Yeah. And that was like a month later.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just learning to listen to those gut feelings. Cause I think in the past we would have been like, just totally ignored it. But we both had it at the same time, the same night. Cause he said when he went to bed, he had that same feeling. So, you know, just listening to that. And then, okay. So about my Facebook page. Yes, I do have my own Facebook. So I'm a Reiki master and I make healing gemstone jewelry and also divination tools. And so I do have my own website and Facebook and Instagram pages for that.
What's the West? Don't just leave it at that. What is your website?
So
come on.
I will post you for information.
So on my page on Facebook is Into the Light Healing by Kara Schopplein. And then I have my website, I have my shop, and everything is on my Facebook page too. So that's probably just the easiest.
The link for Kara's page, if you go onto the event page on Keep On Chatting, in there, I have already put the link in there for Kara's page, which is why I'm pumping her for information, because it's already in there. I've already put the link on, but I wanted you to tell everybody about them because it's your page, it's your business, and it's about you and it's your passion.
So I'm a Reiki master. So everything I make, I infuse with Reiki. I'm also a white witch and an energy, light worker. So I incorporate all that in the jewelry I make, and I get a lot of people tell me that when they get my jewelry and they put it on, they feel a difference right away. So, that makes me feel really good that I'm able to help people in that way. And I do ship to the UK. We just need to figure out pricing, but I do ship to the UK as well as the United States.
I did read that as well.
That's, I'll tell you, I know Gary's a Reiki master also. And you know what? I that's one thing I was really confused about Reiki. I didn't know anything about Reiki. I was like, okay, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Whatever. I was like, I didn't know anything about it. But as watching her, what she does and explains it to me and showing me I don't want to say the power of Reiki, but it is powerful. I'm just going to say it's so powerful because, when she started doing Reiki on me, I've become now, I need to continue a Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. I finished.
Reiki 2.
And I'll tell you, you see so much, you see, it's a song. I can see clearly now, but I can see clearly now. I mean, it really does help you. Reiki is so powerful. They've been doing it for thousands of years. I mean, they, you get a nasty cold, forget, they didn't have medicines back then. They would use Reiki, and that's what they use. It's about I'm probably wrong on this, transferring energy from one to another. And it's no,
it's the universal
energy.
No,
okay,
the universal energy.
Okay, so I was wrong.
He's not a very good student.
I'm not a very good student.
That's all right.
But it is phenomenal. It does. I do believe in Reiki 100%. And Gary, like I was saying earlier, Gary's a Reiki master, and it's so cool to live with a Reiki master. And this house is always. It's always awesome because of you. So,
thanks, baby.
Yeah, that's something I do as well. And I haven't done it for a long time. And I recently said actually I need to start doing it again, and sort myself out and get back into it once I can. Obviously, distant Reiki at the moment because that's all we can do.
Right.
But,
that's what she does too. Because she used to have people come to the house, and she has her own little Reiki room, and we had to stop that because of the whole virus. And
unfortunately,
even after, I don't even know if I want to have people come to the house even.
No, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at the moment. And George, your page also, you've got a page.
Mine's
Facebook page.
It's a Facebook page. I used to have a bunch, but I'm not very good at I'm not very good at.
I post everything on his page.
It's okay. I worked that out for myself.
I don't know how. I just don't have. I don't want to say I don't have time. I'm just not very, very smart.
Very savvy.
No, and
you're just not Facebook savvy.
No, I will joke around. I'll go live. I will do what I need to do. But when it comes to all that stuff, it's all new to me still. I've been on it only for 3 years. It sounds like a long time.
What is that?
That's the Anora, which that is prior to Reiki treatment.
Really?
Yeah, and my friend has, I think his equipment is £7,000 for the computer that actually takes your aura photograph evidence, and that is after Reiki. So one before and one after.
Oh my gosh,
that's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. It's so powerful. It's ridiculous.
Our friends do that. They do the same. They do a before and after.
Wow.
Like when you have regression and all sorts of different things, they do a before and after for you. We are running out of time, guys.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm just aware it's your only day off, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. It just means we have to have you back on.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean,
we've had offers of beds here. We've had Tracy said she's got lots of spare rooms, plenty of spare beds. If you want to come over and stay with her, so you just got to pay for your flight anytime. Awesome. Eddie said, my husband Eddie said, you got to come for an Eddie breakfast. It's a little bit famous now. And Dennis has said, one of our team members, he said, Eddie is a brekkie master.
I would love that, man. I mean, I know everybody talks about doing stuff together. I would love to do, oh God, I would love to come out. I mean, I really would. It'd be a lot of fun.
You said, just to be like, before we finish, I know Gary's got a lot more questions, but we'll have to just get you back in the new year when you guys have got time. We just have you back again.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Mark Williams, you need to do a part 2. Mark Williams, I am just about to say that we will do a part 2. That's if you guys can spare us some time on another occasion. We'd love to have you back. And you said you've got lots going on 2021. Obviously, you're doing your talk show, aren't you, George?
I do with Natalie Jones. We're actually putting together. Well, she put it together, I should say. I'm just blessed to be in this journey with her. But we're going to be at the 2021 is Texas Paracon. It's in Dallas, Texas, Paracon. And the lineup is it's phenomenal of who's on there, who's going to be there. So what I have going on now is basically that. I've cut down the shows to 1 show a month, 2 shows a month. So I can give it all my energy, if I may. If you don't mind, is check out the Facebook. If you want.
Sure. That's why I just wanted to bring it up. So we can share that too.
Yeah,
and that's in Texas, Dallas, 13th to 14th of August.
Exactly.
2021.
Exactly. And you can get your tickets. You can buy your tickets, and I think that's www.
It's www.texasparacon.com.
That's it, baby. Good job.
And I'm off for 6 weeks around that period as well.
Gary,
George, what you'll learn about me is I'm very, like, Eddie and I run a team. We were part of another team for 3.5 years at the same time. At the same time was running Festival of the Unexplained, also working 60 hours a week. And I took on working for Haunted Magazine this year too. Wow. So now I'm their advertising executive. So what you'll learn about me very quickly is, if it comes to links, anything like that, I'm on it. I have them written down. I have them ready. I have them ready to go, to be copied, pasted onto the comments and everything.
Tracy's just put a good one on the bottom of the comments, Karen.
Yeah. Texas Paracon link is there. It's already in the comments.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And Tracy said, come to Bosworth in 2021, September.
And done. Gary, get me there. Oh man.
We're doing because we're doing Festival of the Unexplained. Our first weekend event next year, September next year, literally the month after Texas Paracon. We're doing Festival of the Unexplained weekend event for the first time. We normally just do 1-day events.
Right.
We do a combination of it's paranormal, spiritual. It's lots of different genres, UFOs. We try and include a little bit of everything because I used to go to church, spiritualist churches and all that type of thing before I started doing the paranormal.
Yeah.
So I put an event together which basically celebrates the spiritual side and that side of everything and the paranormal side, and then a little bit of everything else included as well, basically. So it covers a bit of everything. So it's not a paranormal convention. That's why it's a Festival of the Unexplained, because it literally is a genre of the unexplained. It's all sorts of things. So that's what we do over here, which is how I know so much about the Texas Paracon.
And I know we're taking up loads of your time as well. I also written down the name of James in and around the ring when it went missing. I don't know whether that relates. James, I've written it down somewhere. I don't know where I put it now. So when they was playing games and was asking about mischievous questions, I got a James come through.
James.
Interesting.
So that links with the house.
You know, it could. I mean, that Cohen Bray. I mean, that's what.
No, your wedding ring.
Oh, the wedding ring, James.
Well, see, when that happened, we weren't into the paranormal, so we don't. There could have been a James at that house.
There could be.
Oh, there it is.
I would not doubt it. I mean, everything you've been doing tonight, Gary, has been just blowing us away. So why not? Can you tell me what I'm gonna? Can you tell me what I'm gonna have for lunch? Because
donuts with loads of hundreds and thousands on.
I've been craving sprinkled donuts, man. I can't do it right now, but I'm craving it, man. Shit.
Well, I want to say, I'm going to say thank you to you both.
Yes,
for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, for co-hosting as usual with me. Thank you to everybody.
Pleasure, Gary. Love you, brother.
Pleasure.
I love you, man. I love you.
Thanks. Thank you to everyone that's been watching, that's been asking questions, been taking part, and so on. I'm sorry that we've not got around to asking all of your questions, so we're going to have to do part 2. So thank you all. Cara and George, don't go anywhere just yet. Gary, don't just go anywhere just yet. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about when we're talking about Festival of the Unexplained, I am going to just play you a very quick 10-second video clip. Good night from me.
Good night from
me. Good night from me as well.
Good afternoon. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I keep forgetting that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Karen. You're